Hey, what is up, players? WarbossTae back up in this mug. Welcome to my second attempt at getting this live stream going. So here we go, Xenos, and we're going to be working primarily with the Artel W miniatures that I've got, and I'm also going to be painting this Bretonnian Grail Reliquary with any super chats or super donations, super stickers that I get. I primed him up after we built him in the last stream, and I have a 50mm by 75mm base that's coming in the mail. So I'm going to be working on the miniature, and I'm going to be putting the other Battle Pilgrims onto 25mm bases rather than the 20mm ones that come with the kit, but I haven't primed them yet or cleaned them up. I'm going to have to snip off their tabs and put them onto the 25mm bases. So if anyone donates to the stream, you're going to see the timer go up in the corner, upper corner, and then whenever I finish with whatever section I'm currently working on, like for example, I'm working on building up this Voidborn Ancient or Drukhari Alternative Witch Sculpt, and when I'm done with her, we'll take a little pause, take a break in the live stream, and we'll paint up a little bit of the Bretonnian Grail Reliquary. Why don't we put him in the corner so we can have him watching over our work. So I mentioned this in the other live stream before it went down, but my camera's been very wonky. It's probably because of all the times my son has dropped it. And so if my phone overheats or if the autofocus on the camera doesn't work and it starts lagging and glitching and stuff, then I'm probably not going to attempt the live stream a third time. I'm probably going to just wait until I get the phone fixed, but we're just gonna make it happen. So welcome to the live stream, everybody, where we're gonna be building up some. So tonight I've created a weekly schedule, and tonight, Friday, or today rather, I wanted to start at 10 a.m. GMT, but we are a little bit late because of the setup issues that I've had. So I'm hoping to, the goal of today is to build up all 10 witches. I also have some orcs that we're going to sprinkle in between. I'm going to paint up some of the Heroes of Hobbyton miniatures and show those off. And Heroes of Hobbyton is the exclusive game that I've created for my patrons on Patreon. So hope to entice some of you to become patrons through that. And yeah, like I said, these Artel miniatures, Artel W miniatures, are just beautiful sculpts in resin. They are fantastic. And I'm going to see if the autofocus on my camera getting closer. It's been pretty blurry. Hey, Dave F, hello. Yeah, so it looks like this is the closest or the most clear that I'm gonna get with my phone being what it is right now, which is not bad. It's okay. It's kind of clear. It's just, yeah, I think it really has to do with my son just picking up my phone and dropping it randomly throughout the day. And I noticed my autofocus has been very shaky. So we'll get a few more people in here. We'll build up a couple more of these Dark Eldar or Voidborn Ancients, and then we'll get started painting that Grail Reliquary. Thanks to Michael Motzi, who donated around $3 in the last stream. So that's what that timer is up there for. If anybody donates any super chats, then we're going to be adding to that timer, and that's how long I'm going to be painting. So I actually want to talk about my plan, my strategy to painting up this Grail Reliquary, because I want to make sure that anyone who donates to my streams gets your money's worth. So these first 3 minutes are going to be just for Michael Motzi to like lay down some base coat colors, and I want to think about the colors of the miniature while I'm planning it, so that when I go in, I can really just focus on what I'm doing and not waste time. I don't want to go backwards. So when I'm thinking of a color scheme for this Grail Reliquary, I want this model to be usable in the old world game that's coming out. And so I could go with the classic red and yellow color scheme that you see all of the Grail Reliquaries painted up as. I could do that. But if you've noticed, any of the Warhammer community articles that we've seen have the Grail Reliquary, or have the Bretonnian Knights and Archers and everything Bretonnia, except for the Damsel that they just released. Everything has a red and black color scheme. And they're saying that it's for the Red Hand of Brionne is the character, the Duke the current Duke of Brionne in the timeline of Warhammer, the Old World. So I might just paint up these Battle Pilgrims and the Knight in those colors so that it's usable, because I think that red and black color scheme is going to be what most people are going to be coloring or painting their Bretonnian armies as. So I want them to match up. As much as I would like to do a classic red and yellow color scheme, I think the more sensible thing to do would be to paint him up with how the majority of the Bretonnian army is going to look. So for the first 3 minutes, Michael Mazzi's last super chat from the previous time stream or live stream, I'm going to paint up the metallics, the bone of the horsey head, the candles up here, the bone for the knight himself, and then I'm going to try to pick out any. See how, yeah, look how blurry that gets. That's really terrible. I need to get my iPhone fixed pretty quickly. I can do the colors for the humans, the Battle Pilgrims. I can do the gold for the bell, and I think I'm gonna stick to that. I'm not gonna worry about the colors or all of the doodads. I'm really gonna need to paint or to plot and strategize how I'm gonna do that. Okay, so we'll get a little bit further more into building these Artel W miniatures, and then we will get on to building up or painting our Grail Reliquary. All right, so I've noticed in all of these Artel W miniatures, they have these grenades on hooks that go on their waists, and I'm gonna set that aside because I want to build up the rest of this miniature first. But this is some really high quality resin, and I want to make sure that I build it up correctly. So I'm gonna cut away all the flashing. Oh yeah, and I have decided to go and do these miniatures with masks on. We're gonna go covered up breasts and masks on. There's also the option to have bare breasts for the females, which if I wasn't doing a YouTube channel and I was just collecting a Dark Eldar army, and I wanted these alternate sculpts for my Dark Eldar witches, then I would definitely go with the naked, bare-breasted miniatures. They look great, first of all, and I think they just fit character-wise to what a Dark Eldar Drukhari witch coven would be like. They would want to mess with the Imperium and flaunt their bare nudity at them, and they would find it hilarious. So that's how I will be building my own if I decide to get more of these miniatures. So like I said, I am going to go with the masked option for the faces. So all of the heads are going to have masks on them. And let's get started. I'm building from the ground up. I always find when I'm building and assembling my miniatures that I go from the legs on the base to the torso, then putting the arms and the head, because that way you're able to more easily see how everything is going to balance out. If I was going to just build the arms and the weapons and the head onto the torso and then pop the torso onto the legs, it might not come out the way that I had envisioned it. The angles for the arms might be wrong. They might look a little unnatural. So what I'm going to try to do is get her built up. I gotta shave away the back of this. There's a little bit of some flashing right there behind. So just to make sure there's enough room, take my horribly dull hobby knife, which I really need to change the blade for, just shave away. And if you're interested in picking up this bundle, I'm pretty sure this is either the Arena Gladiatrices or the Concubines. It's one of these two that come with 5 figures, and I've linked them below in the description. You could pick them up for yourself, along with Grand Supreme Gladiatrix Maevia and Grand Mistress Da'Adja. There are some crazy names. But for $67.99 to get all of these quality sculpts, I think is really nice. When you consider that was about the same price for a box of like 10 Storm Vermin or 10 Elite Troops in the Warhammer Fantasy range in this Artel Miniatures Voidborn range, you get 10 witches, 10 witch sculpts, and then 2 really nice looking characters. So I would suggest that you check it out and look at what the miniatures would look like all built up. Oh, that looks so good. There's just something about like a well sculpted miniature where you can see all of the musculature and the lines of the body. Like, I don't even know how the arms are supposed to line up yet, but just looking at the torso angled the way it is to the legs is just really cool. So now the trick is figuring out which of these goes onto which arm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to go here. This side is for the left. Looks like the arms are kind of held down to the side. The way they fit with the slots and the pegs seem to suggest this is just out at the side like this. It's nice when there's a little bit of guidance in the actual pieces as to how you're supposed to angle them. Artel has some fantastic stuff. Okay, so the timer, Dave F, is for super chats. Last time we did a live stream, Michael Motzi donated around $3-ish. So all of the super chats I'm keeping track of, I'm adding to that timer, and that is the amount of time I'm going to spend painting up the Bretonnian Grail Reliquary, which you see in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Hopefully, like, I'm not going to milk the clock. I really am going to try to get it done as soon as possible. But I want to plan it out and make sure that I have everything set for how I want to paint it. It's a beautiful model, and I want to show it on screen. So if anyone decides to donate, send some super chats to the channel, then I'm going to show my appreciation by slapping on some minutes onto that timer and painting out that Grail Reliquary, because it's a fantastic, beautiful sculpt. All right, looks like she's got, what are her weapons? She's got a knife, and what is her, I guess she's supposed to have a pistol in this hand, but I wonder if this model would fit either, like this model here is supposed to be built with a knife and a pistol, but I switched her out so she would be equipped with the razor flails. So I wonder if there's a way to have this one, it would look okay with either more razor flails or a shardnet and impaler. Maybe. Let's see how the other arm is supposed to go before we hypothesize any further. How are you doing, Dave F? You working on anything? You just hanging out and popping into the live stream? Yeah, see, her shoulders up, so I think her arm is supposed to be out in like an action pose. So I wonder if, yeah, if her arm is up like that, it looks like it would be cocked back or angled to the side. The most natural looking way for this peg to go. Just jump in to see what is happening. Okay, so for this live stream, I'm planning to build up the rest of these Artel miniatures. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I've also got some orcs. I would like to get Perry, Mr. Secondaries, was awesome enough to send me this Goff rocker, so I would like to get the paint on him just to do today's theme of today's episode is Xenos. So I do know I want to but I want to get through all the Artel stuff and work on my Grail Reliquary as well as the this orc here. I think are you in the Americans, Dave? The continental US? Or are you somewhere else like I tried to time this live stream to be happening when the majority, or not the majority, but when there's a huge surge of my viewers, which is for me like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I always thought you were in North America. Nope, UK. Oh, okay. So you are in, you are part of my morning crew. It's funny, I used to, back when I used to work at FedEx, there would always be a time when I was actually on the road doing my delivery route when I would turn on YouTube and just like have it playing in the background, and I would like listen to these like video podcasts, and it's just so much entertainment available and education. I like seeing all of your projects coming together, Dave. That scenery piece looks really nice. It's a wide variety of stuff. I always like seeing when there's a variety of stuff to look at. I think the angle of her arm is supposed to look like that, something like that. Okay, I'm gonna go for. So, yeah, I think I am gonna try to do a shard net and impaler with this one. You have to work those analytics. Yeah. Do you have TubeBuddy? I don't, but you know what? I was actually looking at TubeBuddy, and what's the other one? They were like competing with each other for a while. There were like these two services that were offering kind of the same products, but this was before AI really blew up. And I think they're like AI is helping a lot with their services. But yeah, I was looking at TubeBuddy to help massage those analytics. All right, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one, so I'm gonna, yeah, put that knife away. I think I'm gonna give her a shard net and impaler. Let's glue her head on first. Yeah, like I said, I went with the masks. Normally, I'm not a fan of the masks, but I don't know, for some reason with witches, with Dark Eldar or Drukhari, it kind of matches. Okay, so she's gonna have a jaunty angle for her head because that Bob Smith Industries set a lot faster than I anticipated it would. Slot in that ponytail. Woo! The lady boss and I, she really wanted to watch the Barbie movie, and I saw on Amazon you can either rent it or buy it, and I was like, oh yeah, let's just spend $5 or $6 and rent the thing. But it's like rent it for $25 or buy it for $29. I was like, oh my goodness. My lady boss didn't want to wait another couple weeks for the price to drop. She was like, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. It looks like so much fun. Okay, so it looks like the impaler is in the right hand. I thought it would be in the left, but that's okay. We'll make it work. We'll have it look like she's just about to cast. Yeah, she's just about to cast the net. What else is going on? My son has just started saying water instead of wawa, and that is kind of crushed a little part of my soul that I'm not gonna hear him say wawa anymore. Like dada, water. Oh, this is cool. You can, I always like when you can angle the weapons. Like I love longer weapons on miniatures, any kind of miniatures, because you can play with the angles and the lines so that when you're holding your miniature or putting it down on the table, the silhouette and the outline of the miniature is more interesting to look at. So for this lady right here, I think putting this impaler at a little bit of an angle is gonna, come on, Bob Smith, don't mess with me like this. I hate super glue on my fingers. You ever have like anything that gives you a visceral cringe feeling? It's getting a little bit of super glue on my fingers and then having it stick to either other fingers or the miniature, and it just ruins my whole day now. I guess because it happened so much when I was a kid, growing up, learning, experimenting, and when you worked with a lot of metal models back in the day, before Games Workshop got its act together with the plastics, then oh my goodness. Hey Jason, how's it going? Thanks for popping into the stream. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, let me know if you guys are working on anything. I'm always interested in anything else that people are working on currently. And of course, we've got the Discord linked in the description, so you could pop over there, post some pictures up. And yeah, if you're working on anything right now, then we're in the trenches together. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. Jason, I used to wonder why super glue stuck my fingers so much better than what I was actually trying to glue. Then I Googled it. Oh, is there an answer? Is there a scientific reason why super glue is just the worst when it comes to getting on your fingers? See, I'm looking at the shard net, right? And when you look at, or you compare it to the Dark Eldar or the Drukhari shard net, it has such a wide open, flared out look. Let me see if I can find the actual miniature. Downstairs. Gotta find where my Dark Eldar got to. Super glue was developed to stick wounds closed in the field. Heyo. That makes sense. That makes sense. You cut your fingers open with a X-Acto knife. Just glue it together with super glue. So where is the join for this? The wrist looks like it should be going perfectly into this little piece of armor here. How come it's not taking? Oh, might be because I already put some super glue in there, and yeah, I kind of like this look that she's casting it. She's in the process of casting the net. I think if I were to purchase one of these bundles, the Arena Gore Festival bundle that I've linked down below in the description, if I was to do another one, the way I would build it would be masks and naked bare bosoms, exposed torsos. I think it's just so creepy and Dark Eldar-y. Really like captures that evil, masochistic Dark Eldar look, I think. How old is my son? He's going to be turning 2 years old in a little over a week. So we're actually in Sacramento area in California, and we're going to be heading over to the Bay Area. That's where our in-laws are. And he's going to be turning 2 over there. And since we're originally from Hawaii, we're going to bring in some Hawaiian food and just have like a little family luau. He's so cute. He's I mean, I don't want this to, I don't want to everybody to run away because I'm going to start talking about my personal life and my family. But being a father is like, you always hear about how hard it is and how rewarding, and there's just no way to prepare you to be a parent. Like, you listen to all the advice you want, and you can go to any websites or videos, but I'm constantly amazed by how much I don't know and how much of it is really just making it up as you go along, and just blind dumb luck. But I've never been happier. It's weird. And you know what else is weird too? If you're a parent, you might know this, especially if you're into like pop culture and movies and TV shows and stuff. But I'm noticing a lot more than I ever did. A lot of like references in movies and TV shows and things online where bad stuff happens to children. It's weird. Like, I've never noticed it, but as a parent, like, my radar is so on it now. Like, we just watched, like I said, we watched the Barbie movie, and in the beginning, when Barbie's invented, all these little girls who are playing with baby dolls take their babies, they're like dolls that look like babies, and just start smashing them. And it's like, that's weird. Like, why don't you just throw the babies like over your shoulders, or, you know, run for the Barbie? It's like they have to destroy the representation of babies. It's weird. It's weird. And in the I noticed in the Thor Love and Thunder movie, there's some throwaway lines where he talks about a time when they had to like eat the children. It was, gosh, I was like shocked. But it's funny, I never would have, maybe when I was a single or not a father yet, I would have probably never even noticed those lines. Or like in the Barbie movie, they have this character who's pregnant. Like, that was her Barbie thing. She's pregnant. She's eternally pregnant. And they all kind of mock her and talk about how, oh yeah, wasn't she discontinued? Oh yeah, oh, she's worthless. Yeah, don't talk to her. What are they trying to say about being a parent? Ooh, I like this one. It's on like a little releve there. Dave F. So right, no way to prep. My daughter turned 2 last month. They are so cute at this age. I know. That's spot on. Having kids, especially when they're young, changes your perspective in lots of subtle ways. I go into places now, and my dad radar is up. Like, before, I was very, I don't want to say like oblivious or ignorant, but I wouldn't notice things like like instantly looking for entrances and exits and creepy people that, like, before I probably would have just given maybe like a second glance to, but not really kept my eye on. Like, now I'm super hyper aware of all times, which is funny because I've heard from my brother and sister, and I even remember my mom when she was still alive talking about how I used to be when I was a kid. As soon as we would get to like a convenience store, I would just like shoot off. I would want to instantly be away from my mother. Like, I thought it was a fun game to get lost and have to have someone go on the PA and say, can somebody pick up this baby, this little brown baby, or this little brown child running around the candy section? My mom would be so embarrassed. She'd be like, Tay, what did I tell you about running away? And now I just know that, like, now I'm gonna have to deal with that with my son. Okay, so it's a dude. I didn't know it was a dude, but he's got abs, so it's a dude. I think this is one when I did a little bit of an unboxing for this set, where it was either a naked female torso or this male torso. So since I'm not doing any more naked models, whoop, hello, got to put the super glue accelerator. This model will be, well, I have a male torso. I mean, that's the one thing about like Dark Eldar and these sculpts, like, because they're so lithe and athletic, you can really switch them out and not have too much. Like the Dark Eldar witches is a perfect example. They all have the same legs, but you could switch the torsos out to have the female torso or the male. The same as with these Artel sculpts. The detail is just terrific. To look at him like twisting at the waist like that. The angle. Oh, it's just beautiful. All right, let's get the glue on. It's about time I switch out my glue. All right, Jason, how are you planning to paint those? So I've experimented with painting these, priming them in white as well as black. Black is easier because the bodysuit, everything is easier to paint up from black. I actually started on this one. After priming her in black, I did the Incubi Darkness for the armor plates. I've got some videos on my channel on how I do Dark Eldar armor, bodysuits, skin, and hair. Just broke them all up and split them up so that I can reference anyone without having to do or watch through a whole tutorial. So I'm going to paint them up like I paint up all of my Dark Eldar. Incubi Darkness for the scales, the armor, and then Cabalite Green, and then Sybarite Green, Super Edge Highlight, shade with either Bale Tan Green or Nuln Oil. And then the bodysuits are going to be black, so they're going to be highlighted up with a Dark Reaper and then Thunderhawk Blue to give it a nice blue, cool tone to contrast with the green. But yeah, I want to build up the whole squad, but these are so finicky. But I mean, I love already that they're so different from the Games Workshop Dark Eldar witches, which are basically this running pose, right, for the legs and then the torsos, and then switch out the weapons. These, you really have to go through them and find all of the pieces. The arms come in 2 pieces. I think this one's got like a cod. Either is this a cod piece in case you choose, or not a cod piece, but like a tabard in case you choose a female. No, these look like butt cheek indentations. Forever painting butt cheeks. Ever since I did that one like painting tutorial for a savage orc, and I saw his green cheeks clapping in the wind, I think I've been traumatized. Now I see cheeks all the time when I'm painting. All right, don't want to shave too close. I think this is for the butt. If you want to, yeah, if you want to be a little bit more modest, cover that up. Why not? Looks like I have a little bit of a joint, anyways. Or you could just leave them open and look at the quality sculpt. But I would like to use all the pieces if I can. I like to use all the pieces of my miniatures. I think once we get a few more people in here, maybe for the shoulder pauldron kind of thing. Oh, this tavern? Yeah, it could be like how not Dark Angels, but like Space Marines have little sheets of parchment. I like how it's waving in the wind behind him. Almost like a loincloth. His torso's got a little bit of a gap there. I might fill that in with some plastic putty later. All right, so I've noticed with all of these Artel miniatures, there's a little bit of a tab that need to be clipped away. That's not a problem. Also for the hands. Yeah, looks like usually by the shoulders, they've got weird little clips. Okay, gotta find the male head. Ah, here he is. The male head. There's another male head with like a little man bun ponytail. But I don't know, should I go with, I could either go with the, I think this is a female ponytail. I can either go with a that man bun or the bald Dark Eldar head with the mask. In fact, I said I was going masks, right? So yeah, that kind of solves my problem for me. We're going masks, so let's stick with the mask. We'll put this head with the man bun away and save it for something else. All right, how are these arms gonna fit? And that's the left. This is the right. Always like to do just a little bit of a dry fit beforehand. That's interesting. So this hand, okay, this arm. So look, this sculpt has the right arm like clearly sculpted to be leaning forward. That's what's interesting about this. The torso isn't shaved down at the shoulders so that you could basically, you're kind of limited with how your weapons go on. Like these have a very clear direction that they want you to aim the arm in, which is good, I guess. But if you're, no, I think there is enough variety. If I was to do another squad of these, like I said, I would do bare-breasted female torsos, have a female head, or I could go again and have the other male head rather than this Bane one with the mask. I love this. The skull mask almost looks like Iron Warriors. What is he aiming? This pistol. That's so cool. This look is so cool. All right, now let's get that other arm. Gotta get in there, gotta get in there. Hit it with the Bob Smith and boom. One arm up, the other arm down at the side. What a cool sculpt. Oh, this sculpt is so awesome. And let's see what the hand looks like. Yeah. It's gotta be this under reverse grip on the knife. So cool. I think the only thing that would improve on this range would be just a different looking splinter rifle interpretation. This almost looks like a Tyranid bioweapon that they've sculpted. But other than that, Artel W Miniatures has really knocked this out of the park. And if you're interested in these models, like I said, you can pick up the Arena Gore Festival, of which these models are a part, just by clicking on the link in the description. It is an affiliate link, so I will be given a little bit of a commission if you do decide to do that, and I would thank you for supporting the studio. So for this one, we're going to clip this hook onto her waist. I think my strategy with anytime I'm doing an added accoutrement like this is to go where there's the most space. So her shardnet is held out, so this is where the grenade is going to go. Shoot, I should probably look for some tweezers. I had some tweezers that I was applying static grass onto some miniatures, and my son was just like fascinated with this brand new tool set. So those tweezers are gone. I'll never see them again. I might have to just go old school and hold it in place. She's got a grenade hooked to her thong. Does she really need it though? Do we really need a grenade? Do we really need a grenade? This is so finicky. True Blood, long time no see. Good to see your channel still going strong. Thank you very much. It would be nice if I can keep this channel going years, keep it going. When I think about some of the people that I used to follow and watch like religiously when I was first getting into the YouTube game, I'm really happy that I'm still able to do content. All right, let's take a break before we get to building the last one right here. We are going to take a quick break and move on to painting. So as you can see up here, hey Pix, Jason, in before you spend the rest of the day with a grenade stuck to your thumb. Yeah, exactly. I am going to be hitting that timer. We're going to get started. And like I mentioned before, if you send a super chat to my stream, I'm going to add that whatever monetary value that is to the timer, and that is how long I'm going to be spending working on our prize model here. I'm going to keep these models like collector's edition, rare, out of print, hard to find, probably these old metal models, because I want to show off the miniatures that we probably haven't, you may not have seen before. You may not even know that this is a Bretonnian Grail Reliquary, and it is from the Warhammer Fantasy game. They were always done in metal. I think I saw a version of it in fine cast resin before they did away with that. But I'm excited to get started. Okay, so these 3 minutes are brought to you by Michael Matzi. And before I hit the start button to start this baby off, we're gonna plan out. Like I mentioned, I want to do red and black for the colors, the livery, instead of the classic red and yellow, which you might have seen. So red and black, the colors I know I'm going to be using are corn red and Abaddon. I should have just primed this thing in black, but I wanted to go with the Mechanicus standard gray to have a more mid-tone. So I'm thinking the easiest thing to do to get the most bang for our buck, or for Michael Matzi's $3, is to start with the gold or the silver for the chainmail, the armor, and the bone color for the horse skull. And I am going to do some gold looks like, okay, you can see his skeleton hands, but this is not a skeleton arm. Is it? Like, is this a skeleton arm? Is that his? No, he's got armor, but this looks like skeleton hands. Weird. And he does have like he's got like a beard, so he's rotting away, but there's still some meat on them bones. All right, 3 minutes. I want to see how much I can get done. So maybe I should add some color. Maybe we'll do halves, like the red and yellow. Let's do red on the right side, black on the left. Red and black with a brown thing up here. Because the thing about battle pilgrims is that they're peasants. They're basically crazed peasants who've followed this knight into battle and grabbed all of his stuff, including his body when he fell in battle, and the body of his horse, and now they're just recreating a knight on a horse, just using themselves. Okay, so to keep the peasant look, but also switch the colors from red and yellow to red and black so that it fits with the old world Bretonnian accent. I'll need that. I'll need So that, let's go all in with the black. My father-in-law, who used to be a chef in the Navy, said that this was called mise en place, having all of your tools in front of you so you don't have to be rushing around. Oh yeah, let's give some skin to the peasants. Rackhearth flesh for the bone. And if we can fit it, let's do some, what color should we do the, all the gold, like the bell, that brassy gold. I think I'll do, see, Dwarven gold or Viking gold? What should the bell and all the gold details be? I think I'll do it with the Viking gold. It's a little bit like Agrax Earthshade. Or not, what am I talking about? Balthazar gold. Agrax Earthshade is another thing I'm thinking about. Okay. I've got my tools. Let's read a quick litany from the Imperial Infantryman's Uplifting Primer. How about we go with the litany of timing, an ode to timing, to be recited before timing a shot or the planting of a bomb or the throwing of a grenade. Great God Emperor, watch over your servant and bestow on him the skill and patience to time the moment and make the kill. Today's prayer is brought to you by the Imperial Infantryman's Uplifting Primer, Damocles Gulf Edition. All right. Here we go. Starting the timer now. Get in the zone. I usually like to start with the colors first and not the metallics, but I don't know, this chainmail is really like it's singing to me. That's enough of that. Let's do skin. In the old color range, this paint was called Talarn Flesh. It wasn't as red or pink, it wasn't as rosy. I prefer it. I thought it was a little bit better than Bugman's Glow. I always thought Bugman's Glow was a little too pink for my taste. Looks too flushed. Does this guy have like a little horse bit in his mouth? Like he's really going all in. He's method. It's like, hey, if I'm gonna be holding up the head of the horse, I'm gonna get into character, really be this horse. Oh my gosh, 1 minute, 16 seconds left already. It's okay if we don't get too much color. I'm just blocking out the things that are gonna catch my eye the most, and to me it's that silver and then the skin. If I can get the skin on. Ooh, I've never had to paint like to a timer before. This is nerve-wracking. I got all these paints ready. That's the thing. I want to do it fast, but I also don't want to do it sloppy. 20 seconds left. Okay, I can finish this guy in 20 seconds. Just make sure you cover all the skin areas. Woo! These bare legs. Oh no! Time. Woo! So 3 minutes. Not a lot you can get done in 3 minutes, I guess. I'll keep these on the side because we know we're going to continue using these paints. If I get any more super chats, oh man, that is not a lot. For all the timing, or all the planning I did with the timing, wow, that is not a lot. Let's see if we missed anything. I was afraid I missed some legs from these two guys in the front, but it looks like they're all covered up. So their skin seems to be mostly painted. Oh, I missed his hand. It's all right. Missed their hands. This guy missed his hand here, but I think I got his whole arm that side. And this guy I seem to have gotten completely. You just see one leg, arms, head. So the next super chat I get, I'm gonna finish off the hands here and this gentleman in the back, and then looks like the next thing I'm gonna want to paint is see, I forgot the silver, his boots too. I don't know if I want to block in the livery just yet. I think I'll do the bone, anything that's gonna help make the model pop. So all right, that was exciting. If you would like to help me paint up my Bretonnian Grail Reliquary, all you have to do is send me a super chat and we're gonna put some more colors on him. Woo! While we're still in the coloring spirit though, why don't we move into painting this Goff Rokka. So I think the best way to paint him, to match the cover art, sorry about that, I have to think about how I'm going to do this for a second. So I have the box art right here, so I can just copy that bad boy. Speaker squig, the white guitar. With the Goffs, you always got to look to see where their checker pattern is. It looks like for him it's going to be on the strap of the guitar. Guitar strap, and yeah, that's it. Okay, should be easy. Let's start with doing the skin first. I will actually use, I think I've got some raw flesh around. Yeah, this color, this Oruk flesh color. I just think that Oruk flesh is terrible. It's a really gross color. It's like greenish yellow, almost like pea soup green. I guess you're going to be painting those Oruks, it's okay, but you can also use it for like Nurgle stuff maybe. But I am more of a traditionalist when it comes to my greenskins, so I'm going to be going with raw flesh, and then once that's dry, I'm going to layer on some WarbossTae green. Oh, that's exciting. Whew. Still coming off of the rush of painting to a timer. Now I could start with highlighting the Goff Rokka's clothes, painting the guitar. It really doesn't matter where you start when you start painting a miniature. The main thing is that you start. And when I look at the miniature, the first thing that catches my eye, because as a Goff, he's, you know, predominantly dressed in black. So the skin is the first thing that pops out. Bright green, cartoony skin. So we're going to build it up. Greetings from Slovenia, Zoran. Oh, Slovenia. How are you doing? I'm very well, thank you. Thank you, Zoran. Thanks for checking out the stream this morning, or whatever time it is for you. If you're working on anything, if you're currently painting at your table, let me know what you've got, what you're painting, and let's break through all of these models together. We're all in the trenches, chipping away at our piles of potential. Goran, what is Slovenia like right now? Is it cold? Like California is getting a bit chilly. It always surprises me how California, especially where I am, just north of Sacramento, it feels like unbearably hot for the summer. And then all of a sudden it drops to like almost freezing at night. But then again, I'm from Hawaii, so my definition of like freezing is anything below 60 degrees. Like I get cold. When we first moved up here, in fact, we moved up just after Halloween. We moved to California many years ago, and that first winter, I went around with this North Face big poofy winter jacket. People are like laughing at me. Like, aren't you from Hawaii? It's not that cold. It's still California. Is this a glove? Or is it a fingerless glove? So 80s, this fingerless glove. All right. I should be using my handle. What am I doing? I think this is how my hands get all cramped up the next day. I'm not taking care of my fingers. Where is my handle? Here. I am not a huge fan of a lot of Games Workshop's painting and modeling supplies, but these handles are pretty good. Is he even gonna fit? He might not even fit. There's just no way to open them besides pulling them apart yourself. Oof. Okay, here we go. We'll do a little bit more, then we'll paint the squig just for fun, and then we'll go back to our Drukhari. So jumping onto WarbossTae green. No, here summer is very hot, about 104 Fahrenheit. Yeah, we were just in, we had like 106-degree day last week. And then this week it's dropped down to 90s as the hottest. And then next week it's going to be like, we're going to have like a day where it's 78 degrees. It's just like getting colder and colder. WarbossTae green is a pretty nice orky color, but it's just so finicky to use. If you use too much, it's too thick. If you use too little, it does this thing where it streaks a lot. So probably working on a wet palette would have helped me. I think my wet palette is in my lady boss's office. I was trying to get this stream started as close to 10 o'clock GMT as possible. I knew I forgot it. All right, let's get a little bit more. And even now in autumn is 77 degrees. Yeah, here too. Mostly in the afternoon between, like right around 4 p.m. is when it's the hottest. And today it was like 94 degrees. It's funny because back when I was driving for FedEx, that's when I first started to get those really hot days. And I remember driving my truck and thinking, like, my skin feels like the blood is boiling in my skin. I've never felt that in Hawaii, and even in California. Been a weird couple of years where the weather's just been so strange. Like right now I can't sleep with the window open because it's so cold at night. For me anyways. Even in pajamas, like right now I'm in a t-shirt and sweatpants, but like when I go up to sleep, it's like too cold. The thing I like about painting orcs and ogres is the skin, their muscles, their anatomy. You can really play with where you put your highlights, your technique for painting the skin. You can dab it on like this, just dab the paint on, or you can do like quick individual strokes so that you could see where the highlights are. You can spread them out, thin down the paint, and just let it sit on the model and spread out, and use the tip of your brush to spread it around. Like there's so many different ways you could paint, because the arms, the head, the neck, the face, like all of the physiology of the orcs and the ogres, like larger humanoid creatures, are so much more pronounced. That makes it a lot more fun to paint. Zoran, at least in coastal region where I live, northerly is of course colder. All right, cool. Do I have, I've got Warpstone Glow. I don't know if that's the best though to layer on top of. No, I don't think so. Because if you look at these two colors, Wild Flesh as the base, you're going with a more bone colored beigey highlight. This is more like a yellow green. So I don't think that's a good highlight. I should actually be using something like Skarsnik green, which I don't think I've got. Or I could just take that WarbossTae green and add a little bit of Rakarth Flesh. That should do the trick. That's a neat trick. But I'm gonna leave it there for now. Let's work on some other stuff. We'll test out this Viking Gold, which I do want to use for my Bretonian Grail Reliquary. We'll test it out though. It's so ridiculous that his microphone is a grenade, but Dims his orcs. Whoa, look at that. That's so cool. It goes on so well, this scale color gold. Metal and Alchemy said, I don't think I included it as a link in the description, but if you look at any of my videos where I've got this scale color set, like I highly recommend getting it. It's only something like $30-something I think I paid. And you get all these different colors, and the bottles, the way they're designed, they're gonna last. My favorite is always gonna be Necro Gold, but look at how clean that looks. Just one application, it looks just terrific. Zoran, and even in such little country like mine, we have GW Distributor. Very nice. All right, where else is the gold? On his buckle, his belt buckle, his hat, his guitar. Oh, he's got a tooth earring. We'll hit that. Oops. This. It's great. I love this paint so much. This paint is just going on so easily. I don't know if any of you were with me in the dark ages of WarbossTae, when you had to actually, Games Workshop had this gold called Shining Gold. It was like their gold color, and the way you would use it would be you would paint like a Mornfang brown color onto your model where the gold would be. You can see this in all of my Ogre Iron Blaster videos. And then once that Mornfang brown was dry, then you would take your Shining Gold and paint over that brown, because there was no, like, it was just so thin and transparent, it wouldn't stick. Jeez, I'm glad those days are gone. Look at how clean and smooth this paint goes on. Yeah, this might be my favorite color to use, or this my favorite range, because Necro Gold is fantastic. What is this? Dwarven Gold and Elven Gold are the highlights. Oh, it's really good. Okay, I think we can jump to the silver. Well, we could get the gold that's supposed to be like brass on the shells on his ammo belt. So let's do that. How did the gold paint called? The color is awesome. Oh yeah, so this gold paint is Metal and Alchemy. I have a link in one of my older videos, Viking Gold. If you just check like my last couple of videos where I'm trying to think of when was the last time I used it, that you could be able to check it out. I've got an Amazon affiliate link, which should take you right to the set. It sells, the set contains like 4 or 5 different gold paints in various shades. And then it also includes different colored tints called Alchemy. It's like their Alchemy range. So there's like a tourmaline alchemy, and there's like a red and a citrine one, which is more yellow. And I think what those are for is if you paint over like a very bright silver, then you paint that alchemy color over, then it looks like a gold tinted pink or yellow. It's hard to explain, and I haven't really found a good guide that explains it well or does it well. But yeah, definitely check out this range, because I swear it's my favorite gold paint to use. I use the Necro Gold for all of my evil miniatures, like Dark Eldar, Undead, especially the Soulblight Gravelords that I paint, use Necro Gold almost exclusively. It's so much easier than using Games Workshop's Retributor. And I love Games Workshop's Liberator Gold. I think it is, you put Liberator Gold on top of Retributor Armor Gold, it's just fantastic. But unfortunately, most of the Liberator Gold I purchased, it keeps this hue for only a little while, and then it all breaks down and becomes like red. But right when you open the pot, I probably shouldn't have opened it. I feel pretty bad. I feel pretty dumb, because I've got, I think I've got if I haven't thrown them all away, because every time I find a bad pot of paint, I get so frustrated I throw it away. And yeah, look, I don't have any Liberator Gold pots. It's really terrible how bad the quality is with these gold paints. That might be another reason why. Like the silver paints, not so much, but the gold paints for Games Workshop are just like really, really bad. That's probably why I love this product so much. All right, and then you screw the cap back on, and then I think there's like something inside that stops up and creates this airtight seal so that your paint isn't going to dry. And it's just fantastic. This Metal and Alchemy, like I can't stop talking about how much I love it. All right, what else can we do on our orc before we set him aside for the night and we can get back to him at another time? He's got like a red eye with some blue. Do his teeth, coloring his mouth. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Let's get some Rakarth flesh. And we'll paint the fangs. I like that he's gonna have one tooth earring that's gold. And he's got one that's like a regular color. When you're high, you never wanna come down. Yeah, let's do Mephiston red. And then for his eye, we will paint it not too much. We'll paint the eye shadow. Let's say the eye shadow color with Sotek green. Boom. Let's also do his tongue. Probably gonna change his tongue color, do something a little bit more muted, but for now that's pretty cute. Where's my Sotek green for his eyeshadow? All right, anytime you do eyeshadow, Sotek green is terrific. It's not just eyeshadow, but I'm gonna call it like eye tinting, eye coloring, baggy eyes. Like I do this for my Empire troops, I do this for my ogres. Sotek green is so, it's such a versatile color. When you use it to paint the bags under your miniature's eyes, they really look good. Yeah. And then, let's see if they do it here. It looks like they do. They're painting the bottom lip in like a very pale, almost human skin tone. So what I would do is use Cadian flesh tone, water that bad boy down, really thin it out, and then glaze it onto his bottom lip. Let's just check the angle of the lip. Okay, yeah, it is this whole thing. Weird. I was thinking his bottom lip looks too twisted, but I guess if he's singing some especially hard riff, then yeah, that makes sense that his lip looks like that. And sop up that excess. Looking good. That looks pretty good. Let's do one more layer of WarbossTae green. The thing, this paint is so thin. The second one, I'm gonna try to make my paint strokes a little bit more obvious. So we're doing vertical lines, vertical brush strokes, then painting in the cheek, going around the eye. Might as well hit the belly here. I always like for my miniatures to look a little bit blended. I don't like the highlights to be most egregious. Right. That looks good for a start. Maybe we can do a little bit more before we finish messing with him tonight. Let's do if I could find some Doombull brown or dark flesh red. I'm gonna be working on his belt next. There we go. This is it. What is it? Doombull brown. So Doombull brown is really good as a base for orky leather. It's also great to use for like hilts, sword hilts. I just thought it was funny how orcs seem to have like this gut that just sticks out a little bit. You look at them from like the side profile. So funny. All right. He looks pretty good. I think the checkers and all of that stuff can happen in the next time we come back here. So next week, Friday, when we hit Xenos, one more time, we'll do the checker patterns. For now, let's get all the silver detail. Oh, we can also paint his squig speaker. Okay, same thing with his other foot. And his knee pad. And this looks like, oh, this should be gold as well at the bottom here. That's okay. All right, there's more to paint on. There's more silver to paint on, but we'll call it for tonight. Goff Rokka, pretty good start. In fact, you know what? Let's make a bright red speaker for you. So Mephiston red. We won't get too much into the speaker. You can see where all the little metal joints are. But we can give you a little bit of color right now. Mephiston red is one of my favorite bright red colors. It has such great coverage. It just covers really well. Some paints like WarbossTae green, they clump up while you're using them. They stick to your brush. They're just not fun. You have to thin them down, and then you have to control the flow. Mephiston red is like, it seems always know where you want it to go, and it just perfectly lends itself to any kind of paint job where you need a bright, vibrant red. All right, there is your Goff Rocker for today. Goff Rokka. We'll see you next week. He looks terrific. All right, picks. What? Oh, Sam, are you the legendary Sam that's going to be joining Pix in the Heroes of Hobbyton game, I have, if so, I have your librarian all set to go. Yeah, I am going to be putting Sam the Scribe on one of these 50 by 50s. Leo! Wow, we're getting the whole crew today. I really should keep to these 4 a.m. streaming times. Warboss, do you use alternative minis for non-GW represented armies? Norse, Cathay, I think that second one is Estalia, etc. I do, yes. In fact, I did an unboxing a couple weeks or months, I guess, where if I could find the miniatures, they're like resin miniatures I got from Etsy, and I really like them. And shoot, they look basically like Cathayan, maybe Mongolian, but they're humans. They're not ogres, but they have that, you know, that ogre face with the hammer pants. I know they're from Etsy, and I know they're yeah, I can't seem to find them. I can't seem to find them right now, and I don't recall what they were called off the top of my head. There was a time when I was all about using only Games Workshop stuff for all of my things, and then when, you know, at some point you realize like you could get stuff on Etsy or Secret Weapon miniatures, or there are all these like cyborg miniatures that have these alternate sculpts that are just so spot on perfect, then it really is not a difficult choice to go out and just experiment and find stuff that fits what you're looking to do. Like this Heroes of Hobbyton game, I'm using mostly just things that I'm getting off of Etsy from Lost Kingdom, I think, are my favorite miniatures, but also Highland Miniatures is creating some beautiful sculpts. So this, which can also count as a Pegasus Knight for Bretonia in the old world, is one that I got off of Etsy in a unit of 3, which you might have seen in a previous live stream or an update video. But I think he looks fantastic. He looks so much nicer than the Games Workshop Pegasus Knights. And this is resin. I just primed them in white, and I think they look really, really nice. Riz Taylor Wallbank, welcome. Man, this is like this is my crew. This is my morning crew. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So, if you missed it, which I think most of you have, we're already up to 7. Ooh, 7 people in the stream. If you missed it, I put up a timer right here. Let me see if I could find it. Boom. 3 minutes was on the clock because that's how much Michael Mazzi donated. And in 3 minutes time, I was able to get the skin on most of these guys, as well as the silver chainmail. I wanted to knock that out. But I'm painting this Bretonian Grail Reliquary using super chats. So if you donate a super chat, that is the amount in dollars that once it converts over, that's the amount that I'm going to be putting onto the timer up here. So right now it says it's at 3 because it started at 3, but it should really be back to 0. And then, yeah, hopefully if I see more super chats, then we'll throw the timer back up, and then I can get some more work on the Bretonian Grail Reliquary. I'm going to be painting him up in red and black. You usually see him in red and yellow. I've mentioned before earlier in the stream, but I'm going to be doing red and black for him. Okay, get rid of that timer. From what company it is? This miniature is, I bought him on Etsy. Just type in like Bretonian Flying Knight or Flying Fantasy Knight. I'm not sure what the exact title for it is, but it's from a company called Lost Kingdom, And Lost Kingdom actually sells the rights, the commercial rights to their sculpts. So you're actually going to be getting the miniature from an independent. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I'm working in my garage. I got creepy crawlies everywhere in front of me. I got my eye on you, buddy. Got my eye on you, Shelob. I really should clean up around here, like the windows, but we were talking about actually renovating the garage, like this little corner that I'm working in, and so there's not really too much that I want to do right now before we commit to that, and then it's just crazy. So I'm not even thinking about it. Ristaler Wallbang, just show how much you can achieve in little time. Yeah, so 3 minutes is not, like, I thought I had all these paints out because I said, oh, I'm probably gonna get to the leather and then I'll do all the skin. I can paint the horse's skull, and then, oh yeah, I should probably get the chainmail, and let's block out the colors and the red and the black. And I was barely able to get through the chainmail and then this much of the skin. And look, I even missed the hands for this guy in the front, and this guy, I didn't even get to this one in the back, but I thought like I would be able to paint the dog. It's just insane if you think about how much time you need to get something done. It's just crazy. Okay, so I did order the 50mm by 75mm base. That should be coming by next week. So that's where this one is going to go. And then I'm going to be putting my Battle Pilgrims on 25mm bases. I mentioned this before in the stream, but you guys are just catching up with it now. So if you're watching this after the fact, I apologize if you're hearing me sound like a broken record. I just want to fill everybody in on what the plan is for the Grail Reliquary. He's really going to be like if you watch my stream and you see him with more color on, that just means that more people have sent me super chats. So he's right now not looking very impressive. I just got the Bugman's Glow onto most of these guys and the silver. So I do want to make him more colorful. So the next super chat I have, I'm gonna get the skull painted for the horse, as well as the candles, and as well as the skull of the knight and his fingers, because I think once you can see, like right now, you could see the Battle Pilgrims, their faces. That's what's interesting about looking at it. So once you see the knight's face, the horse's skull, you can kind of see a shape of, oh, they're creating the illusion of a knight riding a horse, even though the horse is dead and rotted and the knight is dead. That's what's so interesting about the Bretonnian Grail Reliquary. Okay, so we painted up our Goff Rokka to this standard. He's pretty good. Now what we're doing is we're building and preparing our Artel W miniatures witch substitutes, which are arena concubines and arena gladiatresses. So I've gotten 4 of the 5 from this one squad, and this was the last one I built. I think this sculpt is just gorgeous. Like the action pose, he looks so much better than, I wish I had my witches. Where are my witches at? The witches that I painted for my summer painting challenge. Is that them? Hold on, let me see if that's them. No, Cadians. I brought them out to compare, and now I can't even find them. Oh, bother. All right, so you know who I do have? I have Games Workshop's Lilith Hesprax. So here's the Games Workshop Lilith Hesprax. This model that is like the bane of my existence, that I just absolutely despise building, just because the way the Games Workshop traditionally builds or designs these models is you get 2 legs, you glue them together, glue the torso and glue the arms and glue the face. This one, like, the face was connected to the arm, but the hand with the weapon was connected to the torso. Like, it was so weird getting the angles just right for this model. I loathed it, and I will never build another one as long as I live. But when you compare it to the Artel miniature sculpt design, it's clearly like a lot chunkier, and I think just not as interesting, not as feminine looking, and the shape isn't as aesthetically pleasing, I think. So I want to build all of these alternative witches, but where does her hair go when she's not flying through the air? She probably pins it up, I would think. Oh wait, no, she's got all those hooks. She wouldn't want to cut herself. Yeah, I don't know. When she's not flying through the air, that's like her thing. Speculation. And what does Lila Tesprax do with her hair when she's not flipping and flying? All right, so enough conjecture. Let's actually paint a little bit more. We can do a little bit more onto, and let's have something interesting to look at. Have a little bit more color. So this is the one miniature I built a couple streams ago. She's got a mask. They've all got masks, and she's wearing, or she's armed with the razor flails. So, do I have my Necro Gold? My favorite paint ever? Yeah. So yeah, another of the golds that comes in the Metal and Alchemy set is this Necro Gold, and it's this dark evil gold that I've talked about many times, how much I really love it. And so we'll take a look at how it looks on this miniature. Oh, jeez. I don't have my palette with me, so I'm using my wrist, and I applied a little bit too much, as you can see. Here we go. Yeah, Sam, I've got your miniature. I kind of wanted to show it to you because I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. And I will actually glue it on tonight because I've got that 50mm base, so you could see it. Looks really cool. The scribe. I think the actual miniature that Pix chose for you has the scribe like peeling a piece of fruit, sitting on a stool, peeling a piece of fruit. But we're going to surround you with some stacks of books to make it look like your character is like reading. I'm wondering if I should just make these razor flails like the entire razor flail gold, or nah, I should probably keep it consistent with my witches. I wonder too, now that I'm looking at these razor flails, if this is just flash that I can cut away. I thought they were tassels, but the more I look at it, the more I think, no, I think they're just, I think these are just bits of flash. Okay, and like I said, I'm not usually a fan of masks. Snacks are important for research. Yep, I agree. For any artistic or scholarly endeavor. Yeah, I mentioned this before, like I don't remember ever being a fan of masks on miniatures. Like I always thought, why would you want to cover up your face of your miniature? If you've got a good looking sculpt, like the faces look good on these Artel miniatures compared to certain Games Workshop ones. Why would you want to hide that? Okay, now I'm trying to see. All right, we'll paint this piece in gold. Like, look how amazing this gold comes out. I've got to add it to the description. I've got a affiliate link for this set, and like almost every piece of every gold color that I've used so far is like spot on perfect. Should I give her a gold? Yeah, let's give her a gold toe. It's not a steel toe, it's a gold toe. And why not? A gold heel too, why not? I'm a fashion designer now. Boom, beautiful. And just for funsies, let's give her one gold plate on her left arm. Evil gold. All right. I'm slowly building up all the colors on the squad of Drukhari witch alternatives. All right, and the last thing we're gonna do in our stream is build up this 5th member. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all 10 of these witches, but I do know that the Arena Gore Festival bundle includes this squad and then the other squad, so keeping them separate I guess is okay. I love the sculpt of the male jumping forward. Like, look at that. That just looks terrific. Okay, since we've got Sam here, let's find Sam's scribe miniature. Yep, and I've got all of her books. This is great. I was just going to build it up and show it to pics, but actually having you here, Sam, is much more entertaining because you could see it being built up live in real time. We've got 2 of you. All right. So the reason there were 2 Sam figures was because one of them didn't come when it said it would. Like, it said it was delivered and it just wasn't. She's so beautiful. She looks almost like an anime. In fact, I think they're from different vendors, so I'm gonna just double check. This is the thing with Etsy. When you order something off of Etsy, the quality of the sculpt is gonna be different. Like, I think, okay, this is like bigger. I think this one is 32 millimeters and this is 28. So we're not even gonna consider this one because she's gonna look too small next to Pix just next to all of the other miniatures. 32 millimeters is the way to go. Lynx Lord, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. All right, so I have to, oh boy. Now that I'm seeing it again, Pix, I might need your help again organizing because I don't have the Discord open right in front of me. How is Sam gonna be sitting? I think she's got 1 stack of books like here. I wanted to build it so it's kind of like she was ensconced in a little nook of books, a book nook. So I'm thinking something like that. These are also, these books didn't come with this miniature. They came with a, in a set of books, like the miniatures were just book stacks. So all of these I got from Etsy, and I think this is the most interesting layout, where I'm also going to be able to reach the books to paint them. If we find anything interesting like lanterns or anything else that we can add to the miniature, we can also do it like that. What do you think, Pix? Sam in her book? No. Maybe I can find like a miniature of like a cat or some interesting looking creature to keep Sam company. But for now, you know what? In fact, let's spread it out, make the book note a little bit more spacious. This is the most interesting to me because it almost looks like she's got a little table with an open book right there that she can be reading while she's enjoying her snack. Is that no, the book isn't open. Still, it's pretty interesting. Aesthetically, you want everything to look a little bit more spread out, so the nook is more like a U. All right, I'm gonna go with that. That looks like it might be the most interesting to look at. And then if you've got it, if this is her facing forward, I think this is on the diagonal. This is more interesting. Yeah, this looks more interesting because then any models you have lined up on the flat horizontal, I like that she's facing off center like that. That is the way to go. All right, Pix and Sam. For those of you who aren't familiar with what I'm building, this is a figure for the patron exclusive game that I'm creating for my patrons called the Heroes of Hobbyton, where you can choose an avatar to represent you, and then I build up your miniature, I paint it, and you can have members in your retinue that represent like your friends or your family and loved ones. And it's just a fun way of me saying thank you for supporting my studio and wanting to do something to give back. And I think it's a pretty creative way to do that. Then when the actual game gets started, I think we're going to get started in the new year. My patrons are going to go on quests and drag these characters along with them for fun and adventure and treasure and fame and all that good stuff. All right, so that's Sam, and I'm gonna let this glue set overnight, and then we'll prime her up and then get started painting her. Just let me know what you'd like, Sam, what color dress you'd like. If there's a certain color hair you want me to paint your avatar, just let me know, and then I will get right on that. Back to the craziness. We're still looking for more super chats. I would like to get a little bit more painted onto this poor figure before I wrap up this live stream. And while we wait for that, we'll dive into this final, for this one anyway, this final figure. And again, this is an Artel W product. Artel W Miniatures is a boutique resin miniature company, and they create a bunch of alternative sculpts for different armies like the Imperium, Sisters of Battle. They have some really great like Chaos Fallen Sisters of Battle. Very cool stuff. So check them out. And these are for the Voidborn Ancients, or the not Drukhari. Another decorative scenic base. I love also that they come individually packaged. Like if I just saw a bunch of limbs, even if they were labeled on the inside, I would just not enjoy that at all. I'd be very upset. the fact that you're really able to separate, organize, and build one by one, that really helps. Because as a father to a very fussy baby, my boy starts screaming and I have to leave everything where it is, and then he comes in and starts moving things around. It helps if they're all organized and put away in different places. All right, we are going for the mask. So we're looking for the masked face. This looks like a male face. So I think if there's a torso, it's gonna be male. I'm sorry. Please don't leave my stream. I'm sorry I did that. I regretted it. The minute it came out of my mouth, I regretted it. Oh, man. That's what happens when you stream at 4 o'clock in the morning, your time. We were watching, like I said, we were watching Barbie last night. And, we got to the end and my wife was like, well, that was a movie. And then she's like, I'm going to sleep. I said, okay, I'm gonna go stream. She's like, are you crazy? You're gonna live stream now, 4 o'clock in the morning? I said I had to do it. The people have to see these Artel miniatures. All right. So let's see how this base is supposed to go on. I think the super glue might be done. It's the worst when you get to, like, you keep poking and like opening and widening where your super glue comes out of, so like no matter what you're gonna get some spillage. It's pretty rotten. All right, how is she supposed to go? Depending on which way this miniature is facing, or is it a he? Might be a he. It's probably a he. Yeah, this torso looks like a man baby. So, all right. Is he standing? Look, he's got a butt cheek hanging out. Is he standing? Two butt cheeks hanging out. Which way is his leg angled? This? Oh, that doesn't make sense. That's not a butt cheek. That's a crotch. All right, so this is a peg. This can go. All right, that looks great the way it is now. By the way, Tae, do you have a go-to stripping solvent? I like to use Simple Green is what I've always used. But I think Perry, Mr. Secondaries on the Discord, has discovered a better one. So Pix, I would check there, because I think he mentioned that he was going to create a paint stripping video. But yeah, for me, myself, I've used Simple Green. It's not the best. I don't think it's the best, but it is the one that I've learned and I'm not going to say grown up with, but it's the one that I remember seeing on the forums, and even like in my hobby store, everybody seemed to agree that there were a bunch of different ones, but Simple Green was the best. And mind you, Simple Green, like, it's still not that great. The thing is, you put it in a container with your miniatures, and Simple Green, like, you have to wait a week, and then you have to really go at it with a toothbrush to get the stuff off. But it does come off, and it works better for, I think Simple Green works better for metal models than plastic. I've noticed with plastic models, like they don't come apart or get weaker, but they become more, I feel like they become more pliable. Oh, I think this is the one where the model is like jumping off. This is my high school experience. This is me trying to put my miniatures together and just creating a mess of everything. This is what happens when you don't have like a thin applicator. Like that's why Games Workshop's plastic glue is a winner, because you could see exactly where it comes, where it's going to be coming out, and you can control how much and how little. The way that I've got my super glue now, it's just not good. So I'm going to get to the bottom and get to the end of this one jar, and then I'm going to move on to a jar with a better applicator. Yeah, this is the one where they're leaping off of the rock. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right, let's go, Artel. Let's go. I'm pretty hyped now. Let's see what your sculpt is gonna look like. I think Highland Miniatures for Etsy, if you're going to look for alternative sculpts, Highland Miniatures is good, it's doable, it's passable. Lost Kingdom Miniatures are the ones that look just so imaginative and creative. I've got a bunch of miniatures that I haven't unboxed yet from them, where they've got just some beautifully like Asian inspired dark elves. It's like Asian inspired wood elves. Their war dancers look like ballet dancers, ballet elves, like doing ballerina moves, and just twined with vines, and it's beautiful. If you go to Etsy, look up Lost Kingdom, and I don't know if they're called wood elves or if they're called something else, but they're just gorgeous sculpts. And then just fall down the rabbit hole of Lost Kingdom on Etsy. It's not sticking. I gotta hit it with the Bob Smith. A little bit more. Oh man, my fingers are like screaming in terror right now. I used to have so much super glue on my fingertips that when I would finish a session, it would be like I had like white thimbles over all of my fingers. I'd just be like, why won't the miniatures stay pushed together? Especially because I use so many metal. I worked with so many metal miniatures back in the day. So now, luckily, I just work with mostly plastic. Then every once in a while, you get some beautiful resin sculpts that you have to paint up. Just looks so good. All right, torso. What I loved with the other male sculpt, you really see where like everything really fit nicely with the body. Oh no, is he jumping to the side? Is that why this only fits like this? It's like there's so many weird angles. But you gotta follow the pegs. You gotta follow where the shape of the piece goes into the other one. Like, don't fight it. This is how it fits perfectly and seamlessly. So that's how it's gonna go. Like, you could try to adjust it, or you could shave the peg down, but if you do, then everything else is gonna shift over. Like the head, the angle for the arms, like doing it like this, you're gonna see what the original artist, designer had in mind when he sculpted it. That's what we're following. So to go with that, I'm not going to put the head on yet. I'm going to do the arms, figure out what's the best way, the best angle to hold the arms. And once the weapons are glued to the wrists, then I'll be putting the head on so you can see where the focus of the model is supposed to be looking. I want to strip the Bretonian men-at-arms I got the other day. Ooh! That depends on if you're looking for something different or something similar to Games Workshop. As someone who already has Games Workshop, it would look weird with some wildly different looking minis. Oh, Link's Lord, yeah, you're talking about the other sculpts. That's true. But when, like, a lot of these third-party companies are banking their designs on looking like Games Workshop miniatures. Like these knights from Highland Miniatures look almost identical to the old Games Workshop Rakesguard knights. It looks really, really similar. And their bow and arrow guys look almost spot on ripped off from the Games Workshop bowmen slash hunters that they created in plastic, the skirmish troops. Like, they really look super similar. Even down to, yeah, like, look at this guy, even down to the feather in the cap. So I think you gotta be aware of the company that you're getting your stuff from, because there are some that look more like, these guys don't look too much like Bretonian men-at-arms. They look different, so they would not, probably wouldn't match in a Bretonian army, as would these city guard figures that I'm painting up. They might look okay in a Games Workshop Empire Militia squad, where everybody's dressed differently, but they've all got weapons. But yeah, just definitely the Wood Elves are their own thing. It's really like a counts as army, as counts as you could get. You show up to a tournament with an entire like Japanese or Chinese looking Wood Elf army, and everybody's gonna be like, what the heck is that? Okay, that goes that way. There's some creepy bugs flying around. I hate working in my garage. If only I was rich and famous like Squidmar and could have my own room inside the house where I could hobby. Not feel like I'm gonna be eaten alive by bugs. Link's Lord. True and wildly different looking minis are great for smaller games or starting a new one. Yeah, and I think, yes, starting a new game, like, I would love when I would show up to, or starting a new army, I would love when I would show up to my old hobby store in Hawaii and somebody had some third-party shenanigans and everybody would be like, what is that? Oh, it's my Bretonian Wood Elf army. I've seen some people making some interesting looking things for like Cathay or Nippon, which is supposed to be Japan, right? Especially because a lot of these cultures play into the Total War Warhammer, don't they? Like the Chinese kingdom. Is that Cathay? Yeah, at a certain point, you just not get tired of it, like get bored of seeing the same sculpts over and over. And I mean, it's funny how so many sculpts for Games Workshop stuff, like so many things I feel like could be money making, like real big business drivers for them, like doing the alternative regiments for the Astra Militarum Imperial Guard, like getting those old designs into plastic, like for the Mordians or the Vostroyans. And yet they go off and they make like Uskurgan True Blades, and they do the Necromunda Ash Wastes game. They start building this new epic game. Like, yeah, try something different and do other things, but like there's such a huge calling for, or like people in the community that really want the old stuff like brought into plastic. That's why you see people on eBay paying so much money for their Praetorian Guard, or back in the day for the squats. Whenever a squat miniature would appear on eBay, it would be like so expensive. Everybody wants to get that old good stuff. I think that's why there's so much, not nostalgia, but like so many people are finding their old Warhammer miniatures and painting them up. Like on Twitter, I saw someone who's painting up a Chaos Dwarf force. Okay, should I have this guy looking forward or to the side? I think to the side. Little jaunty head tilt to the side there. Or should he be looking to the left? Oh, too late. I hit it with the Bob Smith, and now he's forever looking to the right. I love the musculature of these miniatures. Like the design on the body looks so great. Oh boy. If only they would stay where they're supposed to. Oh, I hate this. I'm getting super glue all over my fingers and hands. This is just like middle school. Let's hit it with the Bob Smith. Boom. All right, Link's Lord. My buddy got a BB team of beastmen who are all different types of elks, goats, and moose. So none are looking the same as it's real cool. Yeah, that's really great. I think I mentioned before in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition, the Beastmen were known as mutants. There weren't beastmen, there were chaos mutants, and each one you would roll on a table, and they all had different mutations. Some had feathers, some were like morbidly, grossly like obese, some were like had like a bird head and a scorpion tail, lion fur. Others had like the head of a goat and like sword arms, or like a see-through body. Some of them were so weird. They were all weird and just amazing. But of course you can't package that, because like I guess you could do like a Chaos Spawn box, but to do an entire army, like a Beastman army, where each one was like wildly different from the next, I think would be too difficult. But man, those old games were fun. All right, I am really pleased with how this group came together. Mostly, I love the look of this gold. Like, look how shiny that gold is. I'm gonna try to finish. You know what? I'm gonna finish this lady up before we wrap up this stream. And again, if you would like to donate to get some paint on this Bretonnian Grail Reliquary, every super chat that I get is going to be added to, is going to start a timer, and then I'll be able to get some more paint on that Bretonnian. All right. like to paint the things that are gonna pop the most. It's like I could start with the armor, but this is more fun. Because at the end of the day, you put in like half an hour to paint the armor versus half an hour to lay down the skin and the hair. Then when you put the model down and you go away for the night, and you come back the next day, what are you going to notice more? It's my notice me senpai tactic of painting miniatures. Paint something that is going to entice you to sit down and paint some more the next time you're at the table. I think you could make it like the Old Lord kits with a ton of options. Yeah, like tail options, head options. You could mix them. I think, could you imagine an entire army with like different weird looking options like that? Plus too, I think it's so wildly different. It would change the, like the base sizes would all be different, and the sizes of the models, because there's like literally you would roll a D100 to figure out what the mutation was of the creatures you were fighting. And some of those like aren't even represented on the miniature or on like in the actual game. Like there was this one mutant that my PCs were fighting one time that had acid blood. Yeah, so it's weird because it's like he looks like a normal person. He doesn't have any of the crazy mutations, but when they cut him and he bled on them, acid blood. So I'm going to be copying the same color scheme that I use with my Dark Eldar, so that anybody who compares my miniatures, you're going to see I'm using the same techniques, the same colors, the same paints, and you're going to be able to tell which models just look nicer all painted up. Because Artel W miniatures, even their website, when you go to it and you click on the products, you see what they look like built up according to the computer, but you don't get a feel for how they look painted up. Not many examples of painted Artel W miniatures online that I found anyway for the figures that I want. So we're just kind of copying the Games Workshop colors, which is fine if these are going to be counts as witches. Thanks, Lord. Well, just make a spawn size kit. Games Workshop, more sales right there. So you have normal size kit and the bigger kit. I agree, yeah. You do it like the Cadian Shock Troops upgrade kit. Like here's your normal size, everything you need, and then splurge on these mutations. All right, now this is always my favorite part when you're painting Dark Eldar / Drukhari, which is a bodysuit and which is bare naked skin. Normally I would say, oh, this girl's butt cheeks are hanging out, but it looks like she's actually wearing some tight, spiky, Dark Eldar yoga pants from Kill You Lemon. Oh, that's terrible. terrible. Quit chat GPT. Come up with some funny Dark Eldar themed names playing on the Lululemon name. All right, it looks like she's got a bare torso and like a thong riding up her sides, and then her yoga pants are sitting kind of low. And then I chose the torso that's covered. I'm sorry guys, let me clear some of this out of the way. So this is what our model looks like now. This is terrible. I really have to get my phone to a Genius bar at an Apple store and just replace my phone. The camera's like just about shot. The good thing about these models from Artel, Link's Lord, is that they're really very similar aesthetically to Games Workshop's Drukhari. They don't look like out of place from a Games Workshop army. Or I don't know, are those butt cheeks? Is this? They could be. This could be a thong. Yeah, why not? Let's make them butt cheeks. I thought they were just spiky yoga pants. But you know what? Let's make them butt cheeks. Let's make them chaps. Oh no, they're chaps. I think I see where that one is. Yep. Okay. It's like a big boot. It's like a big boot pulled all the way up. Ooh, she's looking like a Cenobite. Weird covering for her breasts, but all right. So yeah, there's always a blast to go through to see around. All right, thanks, Link's Lord. Darth Torlin, ooh, this seems like an updated stream. How's it going? It's going pretty well. You want to see something cool? Darth Torlin, check it out. If somebody donates, I'm able to make a timer to paint my Bretonnian Grail relic. And if the baby starts screaming, on. Mic on. Hello. This whole time. Woo. This whole time I was waxing lyrical. Nobody could hear me. Thanks for telling me that, Riz Taylor Wallbank. Hopefully I'm back now. She's wearing assless chaps. Oh man. You know what's funny though? When you look at things like Raging Heroes has some female sculpts, and some other companies do some female sculpts. We have voice, yeah. Darth Torlin, now I have. Yeah, I'm sorry, Darth. I thought you meant like only during the music that I didn't have a microphone on. It's when I went black screen, I think. But what was I saying? I think like some of the Raging Heroes stuff is a little more oops, sorry about that. Lewd. No, I don't want to say lewd, but I feel like these sculpts fit Dark Eldar. Like, sure, she's got her Ghibli bits hanging out, but I feel like this is what Dark Eldar witches would wear going to battle, or be topless. Like I said in a previous stream, I feel like they would be topless just to flip around and dance around and really drive it home to the Imperium and how buttoned up they are. So when you see something like Raging Heroes where they have female commissars who are just, you know, spilling out of their tops and corsets, it's like, it doesn't match, because it's the Imperium. If it was Chaos doing like a fallen commissar, then I don't know. But some other companies doing these third-party sculpts, they don't really appeal to me when they're too lewd, which is why when you have the Dark Eldar or the Voidborn Ancients, as they're known here, I really dig the sculpts, especially the ones where they're like just blatantly, brazenly topless. Because I feel like they do that just to mess with the Imperium. I feel like that gives them a kick. And I mentioned this in the last time I talked about this on the stream. Like I was kind of explaining my position on why I think Dark Eldar witches would enjoy that. And people in the Reddit, the Dark Eldar, or no, not the Dark Eldar Reddit, the Dark Eldar Discord. There's like a Discord for Dark Eldar and Drukhari. We're like, no, that's not how witches would behave. Witches would maybe have their orgies and their pleasure palaces, but when they go on battle, they wouldn't be topless just to appeal to the male gaze. And I remember thinking, like, what are you talking about? Of course they would. Like, they would find it hilarious. All right, get these spiky bits on. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be silver on this model, so we're gonna move on to painting the green. I really like the look of this model. I have to get my camera fixed. This is ridiculous. Yeah, let's just get the armor painted up. So we're gonna start with Incubi Darkness. I really like Incubi Darkness. It's grown on me as a color. It's this dark blue-green. Yeah, I was trying to avoid all my silver, but you know, I'm just gonna paint over it. Yeah, so thanks Dark Torlin for introducing me to Prism, this new live streaming software, or new to me program, and it's absolutely free. So if you're doing live streaming or YouTube, then check it out. You might like it. I enjoy it very much. I think there's a lot more I could do with it if I had a computer or a laptop, but unfortunately I do not, and I probably won't be getting one anytime soon. But if I did, then I would sure like to set it up on that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, let me know if you saw Barbie. Let me know what you thought. I thought Will Ferrell was a weird choice. Felt like he was just doing his Will Ferrell like shouting, screaming, belligerent man baby acting. Kate McKinnon was playing weirdo Kate McKinnon, and it was funny though. Like, not the Will Ferrell stuff. I'm kind of tired of Will Ferrell's acting, but even Kate McKinnon was like, she made me laugh a little bit. Okay, and then I think, you know what, these look like the chaps in the front have a little bit of exposed skin as well. Ooh, this one's spicy. They have a psychological need to show off in front of their peers. Also, it's an excellent dunk on their foes. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. But I don't think you can explain that to like a lot of people in the, which is crazy because they're like people in the Dark Eldar community that staunchly defend their position that Dark Eldar witches wouldn't show up to battle topless under any circumstance, and that these models are just what did somebody call it, like horny nonsense. Incredibly horny nonsense. I think that was the quote. I remember reading that comment like, what? He said as he painted these butt cheeks. It's funny because I don't find it like, it's not I don't know, how do I word this correctly without coming off crass? I don't think it's like I have to find the right way to word it. I don't find it attractive, or I don't find it like arousing to paint these miniatures or even to look at her. Like, I think the fact that the Dark Eldar revel in their just unashamed like debauchery, I think that's what, like, they're so liberated and freed from what other people consider like appropriate or whatever, especially the Imperium. The Imperium is so buttoned up in their in the way they view everything, right? The Imperium is so buttoned up and strict that I think the Dark Eldar just find it hilarious. I don't know if that's my own headcanon or if other people agree with me. So I usually just shut up and be like, let's just agree to disagree. Everybody has their own opinion. Horny sense. Horny nonsense. Incredibly horny nonsense, I think was the exact quote. So I was like, that's gonna be the name of my cabal of witches. I'm just gonna buy 100 Artel W witches, and they're gonna be the cult of incredibly horny nonsense. All right, so all the armor plates are gonna get Cabalite green and then Sybarite green. When you paint this over Incubi Darkness, it's gonna create a very nice alien-ish, glowy green look. especially once you get up to the Sybarite green. And then if you want to really drive that home, just add a little bit of white paint to your Sybarite green, which is already a very, very light colored paint to begin with. And then just got a little gorget here. And then you get even more of that effect. Right, where is that was my Cabalite green. Where is my Sybarite green? Here. They're the same people who brought Slaanesh into existence. If they die, a homunculus can revive them. Why wouldn't they continue their debauchery on the battlefield? Yep, exactly. I think at a certain point I realized, like, you can't really argue with some people. They're so like, they really like the way that they see things in the game. So it's like, okay, to each his own. Totally fine. Totally fine. There's no reason to say, like, you can't. You have to accept my headcanon and vice versa. I just thought that was so dumb. I don't have to agree with you, but after all, it's just painting little plastic miniatures, and some of them happen to have more Ghibli bits showing than the others. Boys, like, getting rid of Slaanesh and Age of Sigmar, that was weird, huh? For a while. Not having an entire Chaos God in the game. All right, I'm really happy with how this looks. I think she looks really good. In fact, if I can give her a coat of flesh shade, then that'll really make me happy. For the hilt, we're gonna hit it with Doombo Brown. Like I said earlier in the stream, Doombo Brown, you can use it for any sword hilt, for any army. It's like the perfect leather color for like a leather wrapping. You can use it for belts. You can use it for anything else. It's just really good. All right, let's see if we have any Rakelin Flesh Shade. Seraphim Sepia is a little too bright. Has to be Rakelin Flesh Shade. Agrax, Athonian. I had all my paints up here, and I've been moving them in and out of my lady boss's office, so my setup out here is not optimal. Here we go, Rakelin Flesh Shade. This is going to be a great thumbnail. I'm going to have my Goff rocker. I'm going to have my lady here. I'm going to have... Maybe I'll just do a grid of everything I painted tonight. Everything I made. Made these. I made Sam here. Pix's friend. Mr. Secondary's Goff rocker that he donated to my studio. just a lot of stuff, a lot of work, which is good because I don't know if you've noticed this, y'all, but I have not been able to make it to stream these past couple of nights, and I've even feel terrible because I kind of introduce what I'm going to be working on or what I'd like to paint in these YouTube polls before I even start the stream, like the night before, and then I take those results and I'm like, okay, everybody wants me to paint vampire blood knights, so I'm going to get my box of blood knights out and build them up, and then my son just can't fall asleep or is having a bad night. And I mean, I'm not making excuses, and I know a lot of people are just going to say, don't worry about it, it's totally fine, but it is frustrating because my goal is to be consistent with these streams now. I want to be more of a consistently streaming YouTuber, and it's hard to cope sometimes if I'm not able to start the stream on time or get to a stream at all. Sometimes I'm so exhausted from the day, and all of you know what I'm talking about. If you're in this hobby, you've probably been at a point where you're too exhausted to sit down at the painting table, and you would rather sit in front of the television and just veg out or go do something else. But what did I hear today? I was listening to a podcast that said a good paint job done right now is worth 100 times more than a perfect paint job that never gets started. Where's my known oil? So start painting. You can do it. I believe in you. The thing about this hobby is, oh yeah, go build Lego too. It's a good way to recharge or just find something that will give your brain a new way of looking at things creatively, putting things together. In fact, Darth Torlin, we were just at Target the other day, and the Lego section had all these great kits that reminded me of you. Bunch of good Lego stuff. I would have loved when I was a kid, because I love building Legos. I loved building Legos. All right, here's a tip. If you are painting with Mephiston Red and you want like natural hair color, you don't want it to look too crazy out there, use Agrax Earthshade rather than Known Oil or Berserker Bloodshade or Carolberg Crimson, because those will give your hair a very bright, washed out pastel, bright red look, whereas Agrax Earthshade will naturally go into all the cracks and all the crevices and define each individual line in the sculpt of the hair and leave you with a very clear idea of where the highlights should be going. Agrax Earthshade is also good because when you get to the hairline at the front of the scalp, you can really get in there and line it. She looks great, and she's gonna look a little tan because for a while we got to let this her. Let's see what this looks like if I move the camera. No, I really need to get the Genius Bar to take a look at my phone. Maybe at this point it's hard to do anything when you're a YouTuber that paints miniatures and they can't see the fine detail of these cheeks. Oh me, oh my. There's in Boardwalk Empire, on HBO, there's a character, his name is Eddie Cantor, and he's actually a real person. I didn't know this. It's kind of like how they use real historical figures in these shows. But he was a real vaudeville actor, I guess, my lady boss said. And in the show, he has this terrible habit of delivering these horrible jokes and then having like a reaction that's like the applause sign, where he goes like, oh no, after he tells a joke. So I do that now sometimes with my lady boss, and she can't stand it. And if I do it, she hits me. But I think sometimes if you have a terrible joke and you do the punchline, just add an oh no in, and it'll make you laugh at least. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. We're at 2 minutes and 41 seconds. What a time. I can't believe, when I was thinking about tonight's stream, I was like, okay, what can I do? What do I have for Xenos? Because I really wanted to do my Chaos live stream the other night. I really wanted to do my Undead live stream last night. And then tonight I realized, oh, I've got my Artel W miniatures. I can keep painting them up. What I want to do by next week, build up the other 5 witch alternatives, and then show them off and get them painted up to the same level as this one here. And even more, if I could get the base coats and the shades done before next week, Friday, and then just work on the highlights during the stream, hopefully with the camera that has or with a phone that has a new camera that I can do close-up shots on, then I can show off these witches next to the Games Workshop witches, and we can really see the difference in quality. Because right now I think she looks so much better than the Games Workshop one with the razor flails. And similarly, I think this one looks way better with her spear than the Games Workshop. Oh look, she can actually zoom in, not that close, but she can zoom in, autofocus, get in pretty close. That's good for her. Yeah, oh look at me, I just have to hold my hand in front or behind it. Jeez. Yeah, she looks good. All right, gang, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thanks again for watching. I think the best idea I've had is to knock out this Grail Relique with the help of super chats. So from now on, in any of my live streams, if you want to see me add more color to the featured miniature, so this time it's going to be this Bretonnian Grail Relique. After he's all painted up, we're going to be diving into the out-of-print rare and collectible miniatures in my collection and find another one voted on by you to paint up through super chats. Then that is how I'm going to go about getting him completely painted. And I'm not milking the clock either. If you saw the part of the stream where I took 3 minutes, put him on a timer, and I knocked this out, I really went as fast as I could, and that's what I want to do. I want to work fast, but I also want to be thorough. And every time I paint, I'm going to add I want to finish by doing what I call the Notice Me Senpai color application, which means that if I put this model here, I want to tempt you in my audience viewership to donate some super chats so that I can add more color to him. And the only way I'm going to do that is by making it interesting and making it fun looking to paint. Well, it's been a blast. Always can't wait for the next one. Thanks, Riz Taylor Wallbank. I hope you have a great day. In fact, since we're wrapping it up, I hope all of you have a great day. And I know there's only 3 of you hanging out with me live, but if you're catching this later after the fact, I want you to know that you are awesome and amazing. And wherever you are in life, however you're feeling, never ever give up hope, and always remember that our hobby, this thing that unites us, this little community that we've fostered, it's a source of joy, and it could be stressful, but painting all your stuff up. Yeah, see you, Risk Taylor. Wallbank, see you in the Discord. But I'm always here to help you out if you have any questions at any time, or if you ever just want to hang out and chat or just connect, then look me up in the Discord. You can write me comments here in the YouTube comment section below. I'd be happy to catch up with you there, or any other way. Discord, Twitter. I'm on Twitter at WarbossTae. And thanks again. Thanks to let's put them up again. Let's put them up right here. A flowing title. Oh, that's awesome. I'm amazing. I'm the best YouTuber. There we go. Thank you to my patrons one more time. Mr. Sprinkle, Dicey Guy, Play It Painted, Pix, Michael Matzi, Mr. Secondaries, Darth Torlin, and Land of Mert. Thank you guys for supporting the studio, and I hope you enjoy everything that I'm getting ready to do, all of the content. The goal is every night I do something for a different army, or for a different faction, either from Warhammer 40k, or from Age of Sigmar, or from some other games. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope the content is varied and interesting enough that you'll stay to hang out and come back to the next one. And if you are not subscribed to my WarbossTae YouTube channel that this live stream is from, then click on that subscribe button, and don't forget to have those notification bells on, so that you can be notified every time I start a new live stream. Okay, I'm gonna head out of here. I'm gonna sneak into bed. I'm gonna close my eyes for 5 seconds before my son starts screaming and I have to wake up. Thanks for joining me. You guys are awesome. We'll see you in the Discord. Laters, players!